So it's the weekend. There's not supposed to be any crazy, breaking news that's going on, but evidently, those rumors we heard about a very loud argument or a shouting match during board meetings at Stellantis, and I don't know if that was actually in person or a call. They weren't specific, but Carlos Tavares' time might be ending much faster than even I expected. Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And something I did not expect to happen is happening. We've talked about the thing, and I joke and I laugh when I say Mopar Jesus and that Tim Kuniskis could be coming back to run the entire company at Stellantis and doing the methods and plans that he wanted to put forward for Ram and Dodge and some of the other brands by not just going full electric. And, he stepped away, I think, because Carlos Tavares is such an arrogant, hard-headed idiot. But that said, we've now seen different things go on. The UAW has issued a strike authorization. They have voted in the affirmative, a yes in LA. We've talked about that. You've seen the videos here. And I think the board of directors is now saying, hey, they already have doghouse measures in place. That's an internal name that they call it to save cash. They've watched the value of their company drop over 50% in a 6-month period. It's one of the most rapid declines of an automotive company in history. Like this. Gone. And I don't know if Stellantis actually survives. The thought of them selling brands, they promised they weren't going to sell them. Evidently, in this board meeting or this phone call or physical meeting, that's the one thing that my source in Stellantis was not able to tell me. If it was a phone call, a Zoom call, a video chat call, or if it was actually in person. One of the things on the table now is to actually dump a couple of brands to guess who? Yes, you already know, China. That's the first major breaking piece of the news today. And the second big part is Carlos Tavares stepping down as CEO, maybe as soon as this coming week, depending on what happens in federal court with the lawsuit between Stellantis and UAW. It could be one of the ways that they get them to not strike, a negotiation tool, so to speak. Could Sean Fain have the last laugh and get Carlos Tavares out, which would be, I'm going to be honest, the second that happens, I think we see a instant inflation in the stock price. It probably gives them a little bit of extra cash for that to happen, right? But nothing is going to change at Stellantis until we have products and restoration of stuff to the brands. Like, you gotta, even if it's an e-torque, you gotta put the Hemi back in a Ram to make the Ram go back up in sales. There's a reason why the Ram has crashed in sales. And you gotta figure out something outside of this Hurricane engine for the Charger. It's just not going to sell. Whether it's a redesigned V8, they had the 4.7 Magnum for a while there, 4.7 Magnum before the 5.7 Hemi came back. So it could be, maybe they bring back a 5.9. I don't know, but they're going to have to do something. But the sources are saying now that Carlos Tavares may not make it through the next week. Now, it is Saturday as the time of me recording this video. You guys will probably see it Saturday or worst case Sunday. But it will be very interesting to see if he survives as CEO through this next week. And it really depends on how much pressure the UAW puts onto the company. The board of directors is losing their proverbial S over this. So some of the major backers and investors are now also applying pressure to the board of directors, to the chairman, to John Elkann, to make a change now. Now, I broke this and I talked about this earlier last week that, Mopar Jesus, or AKA Tim Kuniskis, was in negotiations or early talks with Stellantis at a possible return to the company. It will be interesting to see what actually happens this coming week. But if they're already yelling at each other or arguing, whether it's in person or on the phone, about how to move over, and I'm willing to bet, because Tavares is so ignorant, right? He's so arrogant that it would not surprise me if he is, telling the board, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. He's like the captain on the Titanic as it just does this and doesn't want to change anything. Some of the best chief executive officers, CEOs of companies around the world are those that can admit when they're wrong and change course. And unfortunately, we've seen from Tavares that under no circumstances does he ever want to change course. He just doesn't. He complained at the EU because the EU wanted to change emission standards because they don't think they're going to be able to get it done in time. And Tavares is yelling at them, no, stay the course, stay the course. The fact that you made the investments to do that and go full EV, that's on you. Governments are going to do what's in the best interest of them. They don't give a crap about your company. And I think he's seeing that. He took what one political party here in the United States wanted to consistently push as this EV mandate and put the livelihoods of every employee and all the brands on the line to make that change by saying we're no longer going to buy carbon credits. We're no longer, this is the thing that drives me nuts, is Tavares could have went forward with the EV future. You could have ended the Charger and the Challenger and just came back with another, bring back the Cuda. We already know that you had it in the pipeline, that you were going to bring back the Barracuda. You might have been bringing back the Plymouth nameplate. It was probably an idea that was floated, or a thing that was floated by Tim Kuniskis, a.k.a. Mopar Jesus. Would not surprise me in the least, right? You bring out something that's going to compete with the Mustang and the Camaro. You call it a CUDA. You drop it. Gas-powered people are happy. There's no more Demon. There's no more any of this other stuff. But, people are excited because they still have the option. The enthusiasts are still happy. Carlos Tavares pissed on the whole company. So, do I think he's out of there? I do. I don't know if he survives this week. If they're actually arguing the way that these sources are saying that they're arguing back and forth with the board, I don't know how he survives. I think if they're able to finish a contract or an agreement with whether it's Mopar Jesus or this executive from BMW and the others that they're talking to, I think he's gone. And I think part of it also is determined by how much pressure the UAW puts on them this coming week. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.